Alright, hello all you crazy people out there, my name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. So, in the last part, what happened in the last part? In the last part, we found a god kid lost, stuck behind the shrine of Shiro's. And in this part, we've apparently got Yuki on the screen. So what's happened during the New Year, Masaki? Say, I thought we agreed on having another pair of chopsticks. It was unreal. I come home tired and there's Mizuho and a god sitting at the kotatsu. A table with a heater installed underneath so people can warm their legs. Oh, that's nice. Common in Japanese households. Fancy. I have never heard of that. Anyway, eating oranges in a row in the living room. Hey, this is really good. Just right. Of course it's just right. I made it to suit your taste. If you want, I could make lunch just for you just every day. Wait. If you want, I could make lunch for you every day. Masaki, you should ask. Maybe you should ask. Sine to make your lunch too. Maybe you should ask Sine to make your lunch too. Okay, she's really good at cooking to your taste. Who knows, she might actually figure out your preferences better than Mami-chan does. Yuki's lunch suits me fine, or rather, that was insensitive of you, Kohai. Huh? Why? Kohai, you idiot. He really needs help, doesn't he, Masaki-san? Big help. I didn't think it was this bad. Hey, you guys are making fun of me. Young man, you shouldn't have eaten much. You haven't eaten much. Shouldn't have eaten much. Here, use this. Yuki, did you bring another pair? You did bring another pair. It's not for you. Oh, please, for God's sake. I was about to say something to Masaki-san, who had pressed his forehead onto the table now, but Madoe pulled my sleeve. Mizuho Nene-sama. Sorry that we're such a noisy bunch. I passed him the pair of chopsticks Yuki had prepared for him. He must have been feeling out the place since he wasn't used to the group yet. Madoe-kun, are you living with Mizuho now? My grandmother insisted on it. Old people tend to be religious. Madoe had mentioned how he intended to stay in Tagami for as long as it would take to find Sakashima's true powers. I didn't think you were serious when you said your plan was to tough it out in the streets, though. Because Madoe doesn't know anybody here. So we took him in. Mizuho's Nene-sama, Madoe is secretly a bit scared of Oni-chan. You'll have to get used to this creature. You secretly, you're calling your own brother a creature? Oi, Madoe, you're a man. Stop clinging to Mizuho like that. Nene-sama, wait a sec, I'm trying to eat. Nene-sama, am I too much trouble for you? What kind of a question is that? It was getting increasingly difficult to separate myself from Madoe. He clung to me the way a child starved for affection would, and this morning, he even crawled into my futon to stay with me, warm. I'm still thinking we're like outside in the winter in January. Aren't you the baby? Do you want some oranges? Sine passed an orange to Madoe. Just like that, Madoe left. I like how I'm pronouncing them differently, like in the same sentence. The name Madoe, whatever. He let go of me and used all of his concentration to peel it. What do you intend to do, Mizuho? Yuki asked the inevitable question. That's actually what I wanted to discuss with you all. I thought you were going to look for his powers. Yes, that is exactly what I intended to do. Which is why I have several things to discuss. Well then. Do you know what his powers look like? That's... Yuki paused with the chopsticks midair as the problem dawned on her. We know it's somewhere in this town, but we don't have a clue what we're supposed to be looking for. Doesn't Madoe know? I shook my head. Madoe was still peeling his orange. It was his father that last had it, so he's never seen it before. Then why doesn't he ask his father? I silenced Yuki with a look. A flash of understanding went through her eyes. I see. It must be hard for him. So you wanted to discuss what to do? Yeah. But if Madoe... Capitalization. If Madoe doesn't know, how do you expect us to know any better? Besides, aren't you the leader of the adventure squad? I imagine it would be your job to come up with something. Yeah, but I thought maybe if we brainstormed... We can't get any good ideas if we don't know what you're looking for. You too, Sine? I don't think discussing it will be productive either. You're asking us what questions to ask when we don't know anything. Whatever we come up with would be useless. I knew I didn't have enough material to begin a discussion, and with my two best friends against me, I didn't know where to start. I know that. I had thought about it long and hard till late at night. Even to my ears, even to my ears, I sounded like a sulky brat. Did I hear something screwing up with the audio? I picked on my food, anyway. I felt so powerless, so depressed. The audio sounds fine, I hope. I mean, it's nice music. It's not much. It's not like Super Mario Galaxy music or anything, but it sounds nice. To solve a problem, you need a question and an answer. Even if you know what the answer was, if you didn't have the question, nothing would be resolved. In quiz shows, everything comes to place smoothly, but reality seldom works that way. Reality is merciless. That's basically the title for the first chapter. That's my quote. Well then, Private Masaki, do you have any bright ideas? Do some research in history. What? Sakashima must have a history of its own. Look up any records on its myths, traditions, past. There's bound to be some kind of information on the powers of its god. You make it sound as if looking up in a dictionary. You make it sound as easy as looking it up in a dictionary. I muttered, but really, in reality, and whatever, he was right. That was the most logical thing to do. Research, papers, what humans recorded. But where would I find them? But who actually has a document who would actually document information on a god? I'm like getting, I don't know, my mouth is getting tired and I'm starting to screw up more than usual here. Oni-chan said as if I was thinking out loud. Said what I was thinking out loud. Probably nobody in Sakashima. You mean you think there could be records here? Our local god makes her presence known around here, unlike other places. She makes gods seem accessible. Surely there is a professor of some sort who would take an interest in studying what a god actually is. But then Shiro-sama would be the subject. Why would they study the god of Sakashima? We don't really have any other choice, do we? Point taken. Oni-chan agreed after a moment of thought. Well then, shall we head to the library? Yuki? What is it, Masaki? Your home. There are several warehouses on its premises, aren't there? About 10 of them. Why? Straight records from the past would be valuable in this case. There are only a few people that could possibly own the documents that we're looking for. Like a family with enough wealth to spend on education, collect a multitude of intellectual property, and preserve it for centuries. My family, Yuki answered easily. But our warehouses contain many valuable things, and we rarely let anybody who isn't family in. Even I have only been in them a couple of times. Yuki, Misaki-san took her hand in his. Please? I'll go talk to Mother now. Yuki rushed out of the classroom, leaving her lunchbox open on the table. She could have just made a phone call, but someone that wasn't good with technology. Alright, she didn't even know what television was, did she? She hadn't gotten accustomed to the cell phone she bought last year. Ow! My arms. It didn't cross her mind she could have asked somebody else to call for her instead. That's fixed. My friend, you're going to rot in hell someday. You say that as if I'm not going through something similar at the moment. Ha. Very funny. Misaki-san looked like a man who had accepted his fate. Mizuho Nene-sama, look! Madoe held up his orange peel proudly. He had managed to peel it in one piece without breaking so that it resembled a spring. Why? A visit to Towada. It's only been like 9 minutes of reading this little section, but I kind of want to cut it off here because I don't know how long the next one's going to be. Yeah, whatever, I'll cut it off here. So, I hope you all enjoy that. In the next part, we'll see what's going on in the library. My name is Dragonite, and I will see you all later.